So begins my Teela costume. I'm seriously so excited for it, and the pattern is actually one that I made myself. And it's actually the one that I made for my Princess Adora costume, and I saved it because I knew I would eventually be making a Teela. The fabric is actually this gorgeous pearlescent leather. So you can see it has the leather texture with this beautiful pearly shine to it. And this gorgeous off-white creamy color. It's going to be absolutely perfect for Teela. So let's sew it together and see how it all looks. Here's how it looks all sewn up. I still need to hem it here and there, of course, but zips up in the back, fits like a glove, and I'm just in love with this fabric. It's so beautiful.
How we make our boots. As you can see, Newt has already sewn together portions of the boot. The color matches closely to what she wants Teela's boots to look like. She's bought some boots secondhand that have a nice wedge-shaped heel. She has to do this because oftentimes she can't find boots in her size. So now with her standing in the boot, I'm applying the contact cement and slowly skinning the lower portion of the shoe or the boot. Once the boot has been skinned, Newt then takes the edges and secures them or trims off any excess. Now onto the armored plastic portion. Just like Newt's Baroness costume, a chest plate was vacuum formed. She then marked it so that she would know where the signature design elements would go. Every single piece of plastic that was cut then had to be dremeled and sanded. And in some cases, Newt applied epoxy sculpt or freeform air to the plastic so that it would give a higher relief and a more three-dimensional look. But even this had to be meticulously sanded. As Newt is working on Teela, I was working on Mer-man. His armor is made out of EVA foam, and it's meant to look like something that he found on the bottom of the sea or harvested from other sea creatures.
This is the tiara. John's about to paint it. And it's just expanded PVC layered up on top of each other with epoxy sculpt and then a final coat of resin to hold everything in place and smooth things out.
We are 1 month away from Powercon. Actually, I think a little less than 1 month, which is getting scary because we have a lot to do still.
How many costumes?
Too many. We got 2 major costumes we're trying to finish up, and then we have 2 last-minute secret ones we're also trying to... We haven't even started yet. So on the table here, Newt has a ton of pieces that are really close to being painted. I see one part that still needs some work, but what do you have there in your hand? What's that part?
This is the Teela breastplate, and it's the most complicated part of all of her armors.
Yeah, so that was made out of, first it was vacuum formed like the Baroness breastplate, and then you added some parts onto it. Point to which parts are EVA foam and which parts you sculpted.
So I sculpted this part.
Okay.
The only part that's EVA foam on this is this part right here, and we had the really thick stuff, and Johnny sat there and dremeled in these shapes. and then we coated everything in a fiberglass resin so that it's hard now. It doesn't look like EVA foam, and you can sand and get it perfectly smooth like armor and not have that certain texture that EVA foam has.
Yeah, I see there's still a few places glazing putty and some Bondo on there to
Yes.
to sand.
I'm a perfectionist and I have to fill in everything to make it actually look really smooth. So yeah, you couldn't do that with EVA foam if it wasn't coated in something to make it hard and rigid that you can sand and make it perfectly smooth and shiny. But
What are some other parts you got there on the table? Show us.
all right, so this is the little part that goes.
Her crotch protector.
Her crotch protector. This is the tiara.
Okay. And that the base of that was expanded PVC sheet, and then what are all the little detail pieces made out of?
So this is pretty much all epoxy sculpt. And yeah, this is just more of the expanded PVC sheet layered on top of each other. And then this is all sculpted in, and then again coated in a fiberglass resin. Makes things all smooth so that these little pieces aren't gonna pop off, because right when I finished sculpting it, that's exactly what happened. One of these little pieces popped off. Luckily it didn't, it was all in one piece so I could just glue it back on, but now it's like a seamless look to it.
Nice.
And we did the same thing with these. These are the arm guards. Exact same way. Expanded PVC sheet.
Actually, no, that's just PVC pipe.
Oh, that's right. This was just a pipe that...
Any hint to people out there in cosplay land or costume land, anytime you need something that's cylindrical to begin with, just use a PVC pipe.
Exactly.
You know, because the thing is, it heats up just like other plastics, and then you can put it in a more oval shape, like your bicep or your arm or stuff like that. Just use a PVC pipe.
Yes. And here are the bracers.
Nice.
Okay.
Those came out really good.
Expanded PVC sheet. Epoxy sculpt.
Cool. Very
We
cool.
use a lot of epoxy sculpt and expanded PVC.
So, are we making a pizza later, or what's that round thing you got down there?
This is the shield I was working on, and I made a template for it. So I did this, and then we went to Walmart and found this pizza thing. But look at the size. I made this before I found this, and I just eyeballed it.
Nice.
Size.
So for $5, you have a shield.
$5 shield. It's
And
metal.
then-
It's not going to break during traveling. And
So what happens next with that?
so this we're going to be cutting out, probably out of expanded PVC sheet, these little pieces that go on it. So we are going to still use my parts of my template.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're 3D printing this part right here, which I'll show you in just a moment. And
Then those get cut out, and we're basically just gonna glue it onto the
yes.
pizza baking sheet / shield.
Yeah, but we're going to have to sand this to get the
Teflon off.
Teflon off of it.
Yep.
But always wear a mask next time you do that. Yep, and then we'll add the straps on it and everything.
Nice.
That's the next step for Teela.
And the orange stuff that's behind you, what is all that?
So this is Johnny's costume. This is going to be his Mer-man armor.
What are those parts right there, actually?
These are your shoulder pieces.
Yeah, there's technically two shoulders in there. They're stacked
Yeah.
inside each other. They're probably kind of stuck to each other right now.
Oh, I thought this was like a complete one.
No,
kinda
that's
what
just
it's gonna
one.
Look like.
Yeah.
But yeah. These are both your shoulder pieces, and this is again EVA foam, coated in fiberglass resin, so that it's hard and you don't get that fuzzy look to it that EVA foam gets sometimes.
Yeah. All that stuff's spray painted orange just as a base color.
Right, you're gonna go over it with a lot of different colors to get it depth and color and everything. And then here's this little belt bow tie thing.
Yep. And that's a resin, an epoxy resin cast jewel that Newt had made for a different project, but it didn't turn out perfect, so it's been retasked for Mer-man.
Yeah, I have a bunch of these reels, so I'm glad they're not going to waste.
Yeah.
Right, and then here is his shoulder piece. It's gonna go like that.
And then the shoulders will get strapped and attached underneath it. As we're being invited out to these conventions and we're having to travel across country, we're having to design the stuff so that we can break everything down to fit into suitcases. It would be so easy to just permanently attach the shoulders to the collar piece and the chest plate to the collar piece and then call it done. But that's only good if you're driving to a convention, not flying to a convention.
Right, but like, it's going to give you an idea of what he's doing.
Yep.
So you know that, like, we don't have one, like, go-to material that we go to. We kind of play with every toy in the sandbox or every tool in the
toolbox. Something to do with boxes.
EVA foam, we have high impact styrene, we have expanded PVC sheet, epoxy sculpt,
PVC pipes, resin. Yep.
Whatever's gonna work
to get the job done.
Yeah.
Yep. Right next to our workshop, we have a little studio / storage space, and this is where we get to work on some other projects.
Welcome. So, talking about using every tool and toolbox, we have some 3D print stuff. And this just finished printing. This is a little part for my shield. And this is going to get resin coated and sanded and then attached to this shield.
And we got a little workstation up here. So we can watch our videos, listen to our synthwave, or print out projects.
Yes. And then over here, we have both of our favorite part of making any costume, which is the sculpture. Right, and Johnny started this last night while I was at work. And I came home to this amazing looking thing, and this is going to be the Mer-man.
His gills will get added on top.
Yeah, his gills.
They're actually, I'm not going to sculpt them out of clay. We discovered this technique of, you can take EVA foam and you can sculpt the EVA foam and get the general form of it. Like if you wanted to do long ears, like for an elf or something like that. And then after you're done sculpting it, you can then dip the entire EVA piece that you made into latex and then hang it up to dry, and the whole thing's now been latex coated.
And the reason we do that is because, yeah, we can sculpt it in, but that's going to complicate the mold a lot. And getting thin pieces like that, getting the clay out and then making sure there's no air bubbles in those small places is really, really hard. So it's just going to make it way easier.
Yeah, so his gills, he's going to have 4 gills, 2 that go on the top and then 2 on the sides, and they will actually get added after, and that's going to, like Newt says, it's going to make the mold process so much easier because we don't have to try to work around those gills.
Just one day later, this is what the Mer-man sculpture looked like. You can see the EVA foam gills have been installed. They'll of course be removed before molding. I have a few other parts to sculpt, and I'm going to go ahead and try to mold everything at one time. It's to just make the process more efficient so that I'm using the same materials on several pieces at one time. Well, that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed everything. Wish us luck as we try to get all this done in time. Hopefully in the next video you'll see the finished product of Mer-man and Teela, and then we might be able to unveil our Mystery 2 costumes. Thanks for watching.